Take a look at this.
I am the greatest earthbender in the world. Don't you two dunderheads ever forget.
Now compare it to this.
I'm Toph Bayfar, and I invented metal bending.
Did you feel that shift? The shift from immersive dialogue to Wikipedia character summary? Whether or not you've seen the animated series, you might be confused as to why Toph is introducing herself to her own mother. You might also question why she has to spell out actions she took literally seconds ago, like we didn't just see her do it. However, the issues here go well beyond the clunky, very on the nose, and weird choice of dialogue. It's about a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes the source material still so beloved and referenced more than 2 decades after its release.
Soldier boy comes marching home.
When people analyze the Netflix adaptation, they usually make pretty good observations. You know, the acting is a bit wooden, the dialogue is clunky,
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
or the cinematography isn't great. As you see here, they often focus heavily on objects at the center of the frame, so we don't get to enjoy the surrounding world. The lighting leaves a lot to be desired, giving us this flat, hyper-treated look. But what plagues this show goes beyond the visual into the psychological. In film theory, there's this idea from Gestalt psychology on the theory of human perception. The core concept is pretty simple. The whole is different than the sum of its parts, and that's how a masterpiece works. A masterpiece isn't a masterpiece by virtue of outstanding elements. It's about cinematic harmony. It's how all those elements, the build-up, character design, the world building, chemistry, and even the silences click together. It might not be flawless. A show might have a weirdly shaped nose, so to speak, but it works because of exactly how that nose fits the rest of the face. When you take away that harmony, the show starts to feel shallow. Even for a completely new viewer who hasn't seen the original, the Netflix version feels hollow. It doesn't stick with you because it completely lacks impact. Look at the animated series' brilliant art direction. Look at how it handles the weight of a 100-year war. For a show about a global, devastating conflict, the war itself is mostly kept off-screen. We see the aftermath. We see ash falling, abandoned temples, empty helmets, the ominous shadow of a Fire Nation ship before we ever see a soldier. This is storytelling through feeling, through subtlety. It relies on symbols and the beauty of negative space. The animated show actually trusts you to figure things out. It has the patience to let a scene play out without forcing characters to explain what's happening. The live-action version doesn't trust you at all. It is terrified of silence. Instead of letting you figure out the story, it relies on preachy, on-the-nose dialogue,
Yo-Yo's gonna eat him!
repeated by multiple characters. It feels like television designed to be background noise while you do chores. And by having characters constantly stop to over-explain everything, the storytelling actually becomes incredibly inefficient. It wastes your time telling you what you're already looking at. Time that could otherwise be spent on build-up, specifically character build-up. You just need to look at how Toph is handled. The animation foreshadows Toph's introduction perfectly. In the episode titled The Swamp, Aang sees visions of her. She's portrayed both to Aang and to us as the Toph Beifong the outside world knows, the well-mannered, sheltered girl from a wealthy family. In his visions, Toph says absolutely no words, and he cannot understand who she is or why he is seeing her. It is kept a mystery. This is a full episode of context before Aang ever physically meets her. And when he finally does see her for the first time, He's looking for an earthbending teacher, so he and the rest of the gang visit an underground tournament. We're given a treat. We see the boulder battle a lot of guys and beat them badly. He looks awesome, like the right choice to teach Aang. Then, the blind bandit comes along and beats the boulder very easily without wasting any time. Aang realizes she's the girl from his visions, but observe what the show does here. Aang sees Toph in her real form, her real personality, but his visions showed him Toph according to her family's view. The show establishes her duality. It makes her physical entrance into the story incredibly impactful and way more fascinating. And all of this is achieved with incredibly efficient storytelling. No fat. Now, compare that with the live action. There is no foreshadowing. There are no mysterious character nuggets establishing her duality beforehand, because they completely got rid of the swamp episode. The complex, layered storytelling is already gone. During the fight scene itself, rather than establish the boulder as a strong opponent by having him beat a bunch of guys first, he only fights one guy. Toph comes in and Netflix opts for a pointlessly long, drawn-out fight between them. This longer fight scene degrades Toph's greatness as an earthbender. It defeats the whole point of the scene. The change only serves to make the story worse and the character less impressive. This misunderstanding of craft gets actively destructive when the adaptation tries to add what it thinks is nuance. Before we continue, let me just say, why be a guest instead of a housemate? A Mindhouse housemate. I really like giving each video the best production quality I can with my limited resources. So, if you enjoy my work, do consider supporting my channel by gifting me a membership on Patreon or right here on YouTube. It will help a lot with maintaining and improving the quality of my essays. Link is in the description. Thanks for listening, and I trust I'll see you in the Mindhouse. Now let's get back to it. Take the Agni Kai between Zuko and Fire Lord Ozai. This is one of the most crucial scenes of the story. In the animation, the scene is terrifying because it is simple. Zuko refuses to fight, he begs for mercy. Ozai, who is the ultimate portrait of authoritarian cruelty, burns his own son. And much like the off-screen pattern the show employs, the camera doesn't even show the burn. It locks onto the reactions as we hear Zuko's agonizing scream. It's a stark, absolute moment that defines Zuko's trauma and establishes Ozai for what he is. A cruel, cowardly monster. Now look at the live action. The creators decided to add some nuance here. They have Zuko actually fight back and for a second get the jump on his father. They also portray Ozai as if his aim was truly to teach his sheltered, spoiled brat son a lesson.
He's your son. We'll see.
He almost sheds a tear as he burns Zuko, as if he genuinely cares. I suppose the writers believe this makes them more complex, but it actually ruins the entire foundation of the scene.
You will learn respect, and suffering will be your teacher.
Remember that saying, evil devours innocence? That is the psychology that guides this scene. Zuko fighting back doesn't just misunderstand his role as a helpless kid, the innocent. It partially justifies Ozai's punishment within their ruthless culture, edifying evil. When Zuko is given an opening to strike, it makes Ozai look weak. I mean, if his 12-year-old son could beat him in a fight, what's there to fear? And when Ozai appears to actually care, it softens his tyranny. Ozai goes from this ruthless force, capable of great evil, to a misguided father who just perhaps went a bit too far. That just doesn't pack as much punch. It lowers the stakes significantly. Zuko has to spend 3 seasons on learning the abuse of an absolute tyrant. By forcing artificial nuance into a scene that needed a clear-cut abuser, Netflix breaks the psychological mechanism of the story. Zuko on his knees, begging for mercy, and Ozai brutally burning him anyway and in front of a massive crowd too, is a tragedy. Swapping that emotional weight for a cool fight scene is an absolute tragedy. They thought they were making it better, but they just proved that they didn't understand the weight of the original trauma, even down to the visual language. In the animation, we don't really see Ozai until much later in Season 3. He feels like this massive looming shadow. He's a dark cloud over Zuko, and for Aang, he's a symbol of impending doom, an appointment with destiny he is unprepared for. And that unlocks the fear of the unknown in us. Netflix's choice to present him as just a man so early on ensures that that fear factor is all but gone. In the end, what we get is a far less impactful scene that manages to degrade multiple characters and ruin one of the greatest character arcs ever written. However, change isn't bad just because it's change. I'm not here to tear down adaptations, but to advocate for treating great works with the holistic care that they absolutely deserve. Heck, we know this can be done right in the modern era. Look at the live-action adaptation of One Piece. Here is a show about a goofy robber pirate, but it works because the creators understand cinematic harmony. In the Arlong Park arc, when Nami breaks down and asks for help, Luffy just puts his straw hat on her head. Nobody stops to explain the themes of found family or trust. There is no heavy-handed dialogue spelling out the emotional stakes. It's just the framing, the music, and the raw relief of the characters. The show trusts its own craft, and it trusts you to feel it. It proves you can adapt a beloved cartoon without ripping out its soul. Avatar: The Last Airbender uses its mise-en-scène in ways that serve the story, so that even the small details you're not paying attention to register in your subconscious, giving it maximum impact. Netflix adds words where there should be silence, length where there should be brevity, spectacle where there should be character development, entire episodes reduced to single-sentence exposition. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And when you strip a masterpiece of its harmony, it might not become completely horrid, but it sure becomes a shadow of itself. No impact, no longevity, just more forgettable slop.
Is that it?
No, but I'll be in the Mind House if you care to join me.